What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black Expat Podcast, coming at you guys live from Taiwan, Taiwan, on YouTube. The new year is almost upon us, so what I want to talk about today is what was my New Year's resolution for 2020, did I make it happen, and what is my New Year's resolution for 2021. If you guys don't mind, put your resolutions in the comments. I want to hear about that too, right? For last year and for this upcoming year. And shout out to my amazing friend for giving me this amazing gift that you guys see in the video. J. Pierre, follow him on Instagram. But before I get into the story, you guys know what time it is. Have a drink with me. Beer today, not gin. In January of this year, I announced to the world and all 25 of my followers on Facebook, I'm serious, that I wanted to be a basketball coach by the end of this year. Why? I've always loved basketball. I kind of hate that I've been in Taiwan for this long and I haven't joined like a professional basketball league. Not professional, semi-professional. For adults, it's honestly hard to find out here. I'm sure they exist, but like they're usually on like a Tuesday night or like a Thursday night, and I'm too tired from work. But what I did want to do for sure was to get into coaching, right? I've always seen myself as being a coach. Why? I've never been beaten in basketball by any of my friends in Chicago. So my best friend in May, he was like, hey, I see this ad for someone hiring a coach. You mentioned wanting to do it in January. Why don't you apply? I applied. 30 minutes later, got the job. A week later, went to camp. A week later, stayed there because it was great and I enjoyed it. Now, I work with kids who are 5 to 8 years old. They're cute, they're wonderful. At the beginning, they were a handful, didn't understand anything, didn't really listen at all. But now they're actually my best class. They're very well behaved. They picked up on the English terminology I was using because, they're second language speakers. But if you say things over and over and over again, they eventually pick it up. So they're great. I also work with, middle-aged kids from 7 to about 12 years old. They're a handful. Their English was better, but their abilities were actually, on par with what you would expect with someone 7 to 12 years old. It took a little bit longer to get them to come around and actually understand what I'm trying to get them to say and to do the drills and to do the exercises the way that I wanted them to do it. Now the older kids, the same thing because their English language wasn't as good as I hoped it would be, but overall their skill was better. So I had more fun, I would say, competing against and with them because I would also demo the drills with them and they would also compete against me and other coaches as well. And I enjoyed that part of it, right? It also let me know that I'm much better than these kids still, and I need to play against adults because I'm too good for these little kids. Y'all here dropping 17, 7, and 7 on these kids at every practice. I do it so that they can become better. The only way to get better is to compete against people who are better than you, I think. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But yeah, I'm actually really, really happy that I've started coaching. I've been doing it for maybe 6 months now. It's gotten me out of the house, it keeps me active, and it keeps me involved in a sport that I've loved since I was a child. Now, my New Year's resolution for 2021 is to actually join an adult league and also to have my own basketball camp, right? I love coaching for another company. It's great. I'm actually going to stay with this company for as long as I can, to be honest. However, I want to have my own thing, right? I want to bring to life the dream that I've had of the style of coach that I want to be. And I want my students to compete against other people. One thing that my Taiwanese friend did remind me of, though, is that in Taiwan, it's not like America where you have AAU and you have college basketball and you have the NBA. There is none of that in Taiwan. So the students' attitude towards basketball is a little different. So your approach then has to be different as well. But I think I can still motivate students to perform at a high level, and I want to show myself and show them that I can do that, right? And I love basketball, so why not do it? So, what are you guys' New Year's resolutions for 2021? And what was your New Year's resolution for 2020? And did it come true? Leave me a message in the comments. I may talk about it on my next episode. I may not. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for tuning in Thanks for tuning in with me for another episode of the Black Expat Podcast. Check out my podcast wherever podcasts can be found, and subscribe to this one, and check out my new article on Medium. But you guys know what time it is. Have a drink with me. Beer, not gin.